All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mignon's Main Street Pub for the 4th edition of the Eagle Lunch Hour. Before we begin today's show, we would like to observe a moment of silence for Diane Shipley's father, John Harrison, who passed away yesterday evening in Columbia, Missouri. Diane is not able to be with us today, and she's at the hospital, and she won't be able to join the team later tonight. So at this time, we'd like to observe a moment of silence. Thank you. First up is going to be football. Up here we have head coach Jody Ford and fullback Perryman.
Okay.
Coach, the Eagles played Baker on Saturday night, 9th-ranked team of the nation, and unfortunately we're on the wrong side of a 24-14 outcome. First, talk a little bit about your fullback, Perryman, who rushed for a career-high 176 yards and 25 carries, and what kind of impact he had on the game.
Cleve was in beast mode. I mean, he really took off for us, and he was carrying a lot of defenders with him Saturday night. I mean, he played a great game, and not only what he did carrying the ball, but we don't get to see his way he does blocking as well, and he's really stepped up. I mean, we had the season-ending injury to Seta, and Cleve stepped in and certainly is capable, and we saw all of that on Saturday night. So very pleased with how he played and hope he keeps it up because he's on pace for a good year.
Your offense outrushed Baker 306 to 120. Talk a little bit about the ground game and how your offensive line was able to open the holes.
Well, that's what we do. And I tell you, Coach Stevens does a great job with those guys in the offensive line, and Coach Beatty, and I tell you, Coach Haynes does a real good job with the running backs as well, and just the work that they put in during the week to understand how to open things up, and then the communication they have on Saturdays to problem solve and work together to find out where they can go and what they can do. And they really did a nice job and had a nice plan on Saturday night for us offensively, and hopefully that will continue.
Your senior quarterback, Bryant Jackson, came in off the bench and played pretty well in a backup role. Talk a little bit about the lift he was able to provide for your squad.
Well, that's what it's all about. You talk about setting a great example. I mean, here's a kid who was a 3-year starter, and we benched him after the first game, and he never said a word. I mean, he was really great, had an awesome attitude. He understood that, Caleb had worked hard too, worked hard, and had an opportunity to come in and start for us. And unfortunately, Caleb had a really serious injury that will be a season-ending injury for him. He broke his fibula, but Juice came in and did a great job. And after having a great attitude, and it just goes to show, you hang in there and you keep working, good things are going to happen for you. And he came in and did a nice job for us.
Cleve, as mentioned earlier, you rushed for a career-high 176 yards and 25 carries and 1 touchdown in the game. Talk a little bit about making your first start of the season and how you were able to run so effectively.
I was pretty excited about it. I just came out there trying to give the team all I got, really. I've been here for 4 years. I really haven't got the chance to come out and show out. I just came out and I was ready to play for my teammates. That's all I gotta say.
You scored a game-tying touchdown on the opening drive of the second half, and then Rennie Reese scored the 2-point conversion. What went through your head when the Eagles finally tied up the game?
I was really tired after that. At that point, I ran down a 44-yard run, and I had a trip on the 1-yard line. I didn't even know we were going for 2. Once I was thinking that, I was like, wow. I don't even know how we did that. So later on in the day, Rennie told me he was there too, so that's pretty exciting for both me and him.
Now on that 44-yard carry, there was some debate in the stands in the press box whether or not you were tackled or you happened to trip over your own foot. What was the diagnosis on that?
It was I just lost my footing, I guess. I seen Burton come out of the way and block these 2 dudes out of nowhere. I tried to get cut off of them, and I guess my head was just, I seen him making that hit. My head started thinking about that hit, my legs stopped working. And that's really just what happened, really.
As you mentioned, Burton Yosefa rushed for a season-high 82 yards on 12 carries. What kind of lift do you think he did offensively, and how do you think y'all were able to move the ball so effectively against their defensive line? Because you were getting through their front 7 with relative ease.
Yeah, with Burton, basically with the speed, I mean, he can take it outside, so that keeps the linebackers out there flowing, and it really opens the holes up for me, really. And it helps out offensive linemen too. It keeps the linemen on their heels. So yeah, Burton's a really good asset to the team.
Coach, we'll go ahead and bring it back to you. In the third quarter, the Eagles were down 21-14 and had a 4th and goal on the 1-yard line. What went through your mind on the call, and what was your reaction after Cleve was unable to break the goal line?
I just thought we needed to go for it. I mean, it was getting, we were starting to run out of time. And I thought, we're down here. I don't know how many more opportunities we're going to get down here. We need to take a shot at it now. And then same thing, even if we don't get it, our defense needs to come up big and get it back. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But the other thing I like is that I want to continue to put our kids in pressure situations. I mean, that was really the first game that this group of kids has had to be in a pressure-packed situation against a really good football team like playing Baker. I mean, number 9 in the country, and you got to give them a lot of credit too. But I really feel like these experiences that we're putting these kids through right now are going to pay off for the rest of the season, and we're going to be in these situations again. And when we are in these situations again, we're going to come through. I've always told the kids, failure has to be a part of the process sometimes, and you have to fail sometimes before you succeed. And I don't want them to be afraid of failure. I know I'm certainly not, but you're going to see these kids succeed here very soon because these experiences are going to pay off.
Central Methodist seemed to have plenty of opportunities in the game to kind of get the momentum to go back in their favor. On the following drive after the 4th down stop, Colin Sizemore looked to have forced a fumble at the Baker 21-yard line, but the side judge ruled that the Baker tailback was down. What did you see on the play, and what was your reaction to after the call was made?
Well, we all felt it was a fumble too, and it didn't work out that way. And that's sometimes, in any game you have to be a little bit lucky, and that was one case where we just weren't very lucky in that particular call. But sometimes they go your way, and sometimes they don't. But good teams overcome those calls, and that's where we're in the process of working to, is becoming a great football team. Right now I feel like we're a good team, but we're in the process of trying to become a great team, and great teams overcome calls that you don't necessarily get. That one didn't necessarily go our way, and unfortunately we weren't able to overcome it. But again, the experiences that we're getting, I think those things are going to pay off for us in the future.
Looking ahead to this Saturday, the Eagles travel to Canton, Missouri to take on Culver Stockton College for a 1 o'clock kickoff. Central Methodist defeated Culver Stockton 42-5 last season at Davis Field, and you held Culver Stockton under 100 yards in the game of total offense. What kind of defensive effort do you think you can take from last year's game and to apply it to this season?
Well, I think when you look at a game like that, I know a lot of times you look at the stat sheet and say that's, completely defense and, 42-5, but also those 42 points, I mean, our offense is playing defense too because the offense has the ball so long. It's hard to get offensive stats for an offense when they don't have the ball. And our offense does such a good job of keeping the ball away from other teams that it makes it easier for, the defense to really keep the stat sheet low. And so that's one thing where I give a lot of credit to our offense in that case. Defensively, though, I mean, we got our work cut out for us. They've got a couple of receivers that are very good and can get loose and do some things. And, we have to do a very good job with those guys and keeping them in front of us. And the tackling has to improve. I felt like we did an okay job of tackling, but the backs that we faced this week did a nice job against us. And so we've got to really work tackling very hard and just go back to work again and come back ready to play on Saturday.
Culver Stockton will come into the game looking for their first win of the season and their first conference win of the season. What do you think will be the keys to the game for either side of the game?
Well, again, just taking care of the football. One place where I've been really proud of our guys is one thing we learned from the Mid-Am game and the first game compared to this game, this last game on Saturday, is we didn't give the game away. And the one thing that I tried to reiterate to our kids is, we didn't give this game away. We had our shots to really win this game, which is great because we haven't had shots like this in the past. So we're finally starting to set ourselves up to where we can win big games and championship-type games. What we've really tried to teach now is when you get into the big games and the championship-type games, you've got to make big plays and championship-type plays. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make all the big plays this past Saturday night. So that's something that I hope they improve on, that we continue to work on, is taking care of the football, number one, and making sure that we don't give games away, but also making big plays. And I hope we're able to make a lot of big plays this Saturday.
Thank you, and the best of luck to you on Saturday.
Thank you.